So this week on Make It with Calvin, I have a little bit of a grudge against certain people in the community that seem to think that because you design something, you are now automatically obligated to share that file and you have to do so for free. Let me explain why I don't think that's a really good idea. Okay, so before I go any further, this is not directed to anybody in general. I'm not bashing designers or anybody like that who decide to release their stuff for free. That's their own personal choice. I've released some of my files for free. I've released some of my files for sale. I'm probably not even going to release some of my files for sale. I'm probably just going to sell the physical items. What you decide to do is totally up to you. What I'm talking about is when somebody designs something up or posts something to, say, the Facebook 3D printing group that I belong to, and all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of trolling people coming along going, oh, you got the STL for that? Oh, I want the STL for that. I want the STL for that. I could 3D print that cheaper. It's like, you know what? Nobody cares. You know, why don't you, if you're so desperate to build the thing, why don't you go learn how to use CAD and design it yourself? Or why don't you learn some manners and realize that harassing designers for their files is a surefire way to come off as a complete and utter jerk towards the community. The reason why I say this is a lot of people don't seem to realize just how much time and effort and dedication goes into designing things. And I think a lot of people have forgotten that just because something is, quote, free does not mean that it didn't cost somebody something. Their time, their energy, their filament, things like that. When I was doing some research for this, I brought my good buddy JC Potts in from the Modified World because he's really good at making, shall we say, controversial but thought-provoking at the same time key points about things. And I asked him if he had any good things to bring in, and to quote him, he said, point out that by demanding free designs from makers, they, meaning the people in the community demanding the free stuff, are part of the system of exploitation of creators who often don't get paid. And that's a really painfully true point that he makes. Now, the reason why I say that is a lot of the designers, even if they do post their files for sale, by the time you factor in the fees from the website that the file is on, and then you factor in any other fees from the money handling service, you're not making very much stuff. So unless the person is, you know, got 10 billion people making downloads of the thing, they're really not going to make much of a living off of it. Another thing is designers feel like they get kind of stuck in this catch-22 of if I don't release free files, I don't get my name out there, but if I release free files, all of a sudden people are going to go bonkers on me and be all like, oh my gosh, you know, he didn't release that thing for free. Oh, he's got to do that. He did everything else for free, without realizing that there might be a reason why the person's charging for it. You know, designs take time. Take, for example, this right here, which is one of the numerous iterations of a little locomotive that I've been designing as part of Sparky Face 5's 30 days of creating things, designing things, whatever you want to call it, challenge. I mean, the videos that I've done for that of that model are easily a half hour to 45 minutes in length. Plus you got to factor in about another 30 to 45 minutes of print time. And yeah, you kind of do the math really fast, and all of a sudden it takes a while to do things, even that are simple. Now in this case, I am designing this to fit onto a motorized chassis. I need to fit electronics inside and things like that. So it's not necessarily like it's just a little dummy model that sits there and everybody goes, oh, that looks cool, and that's that. It actually has to have electronics inside and all that stuff. But the point that I'm trying to make here is it's not like I just snap my fingers and things come into creation, or other people snap their fingers and things come into creation. A lot of the designs you see out there have gone through multiple iterations to not only make them look good, make them print easily, and things like that. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people are missing, is when they demand something for free, they're not realizing that they're really not only insulting the designer, in my opinion, but they're also devaluing their work and saying, well, just because it took you time doesn't mean that, you know, I couldn't do it faster, or things like that. And, you know, I just kind of feel like when free file sharing websites like Thingiverse and stuff started, I don't think the people behind them really had visions of it turning into a place where people felt like they were forced to upload their stuff for free for the community to download. It was more of a voluntary thing, like if you want to help the community and you want to post up a free file, you can do so here. I mean, the one thing I will notice that's kind of interesting is back in 2016 when I made the GoPro handles, the very first one, I put that one up on Thingiverse. It's a horrid model. I mean, it works, but it's just not very well designed. That thing in the time that's been up there has averaged about 72 downloads. I uploaded the paid one for 97 cents to Pinshape and 0 downloads. And then I uploaded the V2 version, which has the curved handles, and I also uploaded the smaller one, and both of those got 1 download a piece, and thanks to the people who downloaded it, I really appreciate it. But those downloads were 97 cents a piece, and nobody felt like spending probably less than a music download to purchase something when they could download the crappier version for free. You know, I'm not them, I can't make the choice for them, but it was definitely a little bit sad to see that people would rather download a crappy model that's not very great than spend a tiny bit of money to download something that's nicer. So I guess in conclusion, the point that I'm trying to make here is that, you know, before you go berating a designer because they decided to sell the file, because maybe they're not comfortable releasing the file, maybe realize that you might be part of the reason why they're not comfortable doing that is because they feel like people just don't value their work. And like what JC said, you know, it kind of, you know, perpetuates the whole thing of designers just not getting paid for their time and effort. So in conclusion, you know, what you decide to do with your personal files that you upload is your choice, but this is more just a message to the community to appreciate designers for what they're doing, and, you know, please don't be jerks and demand that they release everything for free. That's not the spirit of the way the community should be. As for me, I gotta go work on some other stuff. Play nice. See you later.